if it be your will, that I speak no more.
It was late 80s and early 90s when CGI revolution took Hollywood by storm. One of the first films to pioneer this novelty was Jurassic Park by Steven Spielberg.
This is the future. I could not believe my eyes. Couldn't believe it. They were alive. They were real.
I'm not exaggerating when I say looking at that test was like the moment when sound came to movies. There was this new tool that was going to be huge, and you could just tell.
It has been a while since Jurassic Park came out. Computer-generated interface advanced a lot within this time, and obviously nothing is to stop the progress. Not only does the tool save filmmakers time and money, it also makes previously impossible possible. 2013 film by Ari Folman, which is a loose adaptation of a 1971 novel, Futurological Congress by Stanislaw Lem, is a social commentary on the modern Hollywood. Poland of the 60s was a subject of criticism in Lem's novel. Ari Folman takes the topic to the entertainment industry. When knowing the plot of the film, it comes as no surprise that the name of the character, played by Robin Wright, is actually Robin Wright. In the film, the character is approaching the 50-year mark, a dangerous age among women in Hollywood when thinking about their future in the entertainment. Wright has 2 children. She is particularly attached to her younger one, a boy suffering from the Usher syndrome, a syndrome which eventually leads to deafness and blindness. Mirrormount Company depicted in the film, which is an evident reference to Miramax and Paramount Pictures, 2 big Hollywood companies, offers a new contract to Wright. The contract implies full scan. Robin Wright's image, facial expressions and anything that can be visualized is to be handed over to the company. Because of her son's syndrome, Wright agrees to the contract. From now on, her body and, if one may say, her soul belongs to Mirrormount. From this moment on, Ari Folman, the director who 5 years earlier crafted animation in Waltz with Bashir, transports the film into cartoons. Not only it would have been impossible to tell the story otherwise, I think animation is a perfect choice in terms of telling the story of Hollywood as a dream factory. Even though the Congress falls under the sci-fi category, Folman once said in an interview that he doesn't make sci-fi, but rather documentary sci-fi. And indeed, what we see in the Congress looks like fantasy, but the events depicted here are not that far from reality.
It's an exaggerated version of a reality that is actually existing today, which is we have the technology. I actually did it in a movie with Robert Zemeckis. I am downloaded, I am on a chip, I'm on a hard drive. All of my expressions are in a file somewhere. I was scanned 3D. Yeah. They could make a performance out of that they scanned. So he's just exemplifying and exacerbating that part of reality.
Technological progress is by all means a process to be welcomed, and advancements in CGI carry a lot of good. But the question which arises while watching the Congress is how much does Hollywood and the entertainment industry, and generally media, detach us from the reality? And I mean the word media in its broad sense. In one of the episodes, producer Jeff Green says that movies are history. This is a reference to the real-world developments. Internet, cable networks and other means of escapism let people engage themselves in some kind of consumerist orgy. In the Congress, we see that under the chemical influence, people can become whoever they want. There are no limits here. Everything revolves around ego vicious and is a subject to hedonism. Everything happening here is happening in a person's mind, not the real world. Media and the entertainment industry is opium for the people here.
I'd say, if you're here, you're a believer.
Human being is a religious creature, and obviously the worship for a cult which we see in the film wasn't spawned by the technological progress. Reality is often a painful and trauma-related experience. People always look for escape, and this can be expressed in different ways. The only thing technology assists in this sense is a scale and all-inclusiveness. We live in the era of technological progress, so that is why it's no surprise that media plays an important role in gratifying religious needs.
In the 1970s, Professors George Gerbner and Larry Gross of the University of Pennsylvania carried out pioneering research into the effect of television on viewers. They believed that within a few decades, television had come to enjoy a degree of influence on modern society that was comparable to the power religion held over mankind for centuries.
Gerbner and Gross developed a hypothesis known as cultivation theory. Cultivation theory says that over time, watching television alters a viewer's perception of reality.
Characters of the Congress may have different reasons for existing in the virtual reality. However, they are probably defined by their individual pain and desire to escape. In case of Robin Wright, this pain, or more likely desperation, is expressed in her will to see her son once again. That's why she makes a choice in favor of a capsule. Here we see what might seem a confusing final. Robin Wright sees the world with her son's eyes. One of the most popular and probably the most believable version says that the answer for what is really happening in the end should be traced in an earlier episode, in the part where we get to know that people may experience other people by inhaling them. Considering this, we can assume that Wright inhaled chemical description of her son and thus returned to the fictional world in the shape of Aaron. That is why we see two Aarons in the final episode. Robin Wright is behind one of them, while the other one is her son, who decided to be a constructor in the world of dreams.